Hello everyone, I just got back from making a little meal with my family, but now I'm here to talk about how to grow on social media in 2026. It is a complex subject because it's constantly changing. There are so many different tools that you can use and so many different insights you can try to gauge and try to go viral and all that sort of stuff. But we're going to talk about that today so that you can have a better chance of growing your business. And if you want to know, what does this guy know about social media at all? I ran my own social media marketing agency for 2.5 years, and I got my clients hundreds of thousands of views, and I made enough money to go and on a fully funded gap year by myself with just social media and growing other brands on social media. So this was literally my job for 2 years, and I know what I'm talking about. So let's dive right in. If you want to follow along, you can grab the free PDF that basically follows this entire video about how to grow on social media in 2026. You can follow along and you can print it out afterwards if you want, and you can learn from it after this video as well. So go grab it, link in the description below. Look at it while you're watching this video. This video is for people who want to get rich, not who want to go viral. Because our goal is to not go viral at all, it's just simply to make more money. So if your goal is to try to go viral and to try to gain as many followers as possible, get out of my video, because that is not what this is for. You're only here if you want to make money. Second, I think you need to download all social media platforms. Doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter what your goals are. Like if you're on a social media detox and you don't want to go on any apps whatsoever, tough luck. You're gonna have to go on these apps to do research, because if you don't know what's doing well or what's going on in your niche, you will never grow and you will never get more money. So that being said, let's dive right into it. So the first thing you need to do on TikTok is post 3 to 4 times per day. You can post on TikTok for 3 or 4 times a day. You can post on Instagram 3 or 4 times a day. You can post on YouTube 3 or 4 times a day. Doesn't matter. The goal here is to just get volume out there and to get more people to see your stuff. Again, not to go viral, just to get more people to see your stuff. You can choose one platform to post 3 or 4 times on, or you can just choose one. Personally, for me, I just use TikTok to post 3 or 4 times a day. And then on YouTube and Instagram, I post once a day, or I post 3 times a day if the content is good on Instagram or on TikTok, and I think it'll do well on Instagram. And then on YouTube for long form, which I highly recommend you do, because that is where the highest quality of leads come from towards your business for whatever you're doing. On YouTube, you want to post 1 to 2 times per week. This goes for educational content, valuable content. We're gonna get into that all in a second, but because you just want more people to see your stuff, it doesn't matter the editing quality, you just wanna get stuff out there at the beginning at least to make sure that people see your stuff. On TikTok, to get inspiration, you want to open up TikTok, you want to scroll for about 30 minutes. You want to, and if your For You page isn't like the way that you want and isn't in your niche, I would highly recommend doing some searches and getting to the niche that you want and making sure that your For You page is what you want to see. So if you're in, let's say my niche, the money making niche, you just look up money making, entrepreneur vibes, stuff like that. Just some TikTok-y stuff to get your For You page in the area that you want. Then you want to go in and you want to scroll for 30 minutes, liking and just saving some stuff that you think is valuable for your niche, so that your For You page stays like that and you can get reference for that for the future, because you want to copy these people for, I'll explain in a second, for the different types of content you want to make. So now I'm going to do an example right here, right now, and I'm just going to show you some of the stuff on my TikTok and just show you some of the stuff that you can see, sort of like, comment, all that sort of stuff. So you can see here, I get like, of course, brain rot content, but then you also get like Miami stuff like this. So you want to like, and you want to save that. And it's just also a good thing to look back and reference on for things that you can make content about, because you are constantly going to be constantly searching for new content to make. And the easiest way to do that is just by copying what other people do, of course, with your specific style and with your spin on it, and making sure you're not copying one for one without giving credit. So you're just going to go in, be like, oh, I can use that for my more general content, which again, we'll get into a second. This looks like some valuable content. You want to actually watch it and make sure it's in your niche and whatever. If you post fashion content, yeah, you can do like that. It doesn't really matter if you like, or you don't want to like or save anything that's not in your niche specifically, because our goal here is to not scroll because we don't want to get distracted, but to simply just gain insights into what we want to make as creators. So once you've done that for a little bit, you want to make sure that you are not doing content like everyone else. So I see a lot of people, especially in the motivational space, which again, we'll get to in a second, don't worry, we're getting there. But I see a lot of people make motivational content for their sort of general type of content before niching down. And they're just, I call it Gen Z coded, and it's just like so fluffy, and there's just nothing there for like actual valuable content. And there's just like a way that they talk that it goes very viral, and that's fine, but you will never ever get sales because of that. Because one, a business person like myself will see that and just think, you are an idiot, you shouldn't talk like that because it's annoying as hell, and I will not buy from you because you're annoying. So don't talk like, I don't have an example of it, but don't talk like a Gen Z person trying to get famous, okay? Because our goal is, again, to make money, not go viral. Next, for sort of helping you gain knowledge of where you want to niche down and all that sort of stuff, you want to search up Creator Insights tools. And basically what that means is you search up Creator Insights, and it basically gives you a whole list of things that are popular right now, either in your niche, like, again, we formatted your For You page to make sure that it's within your niche. Anything that's in your niche, whatever's popping off, like motivational content, it also has like an all section. So if you want to make videos on current topics, stuff like that, it's really, really helpful to see what's doing well. But you don't want to copy specifically what everyone else is doing. So I see a lot of topics on there that have like a specific phrase for like motivational stuff. Let's say like, so there's a specific type of video that's popping off with this kind of text on screen. You do not want to copy that, all right? Because trends are very short-lived. So if you do that, yeah, you might get, I don't know, 1,000 more views, but you will not get the clients that you want, and you will not get the audience that you want with that. And it's very short-lived. So you just have to keep doing that, keep doing that, and you're not building the right audience. Next, like I said again, just search up for your niche on TikTok. Just make sure that your whole For You page is basically coded towards your niche and your way that you want people to perceive you. And it also helps the algorithm push your videos more, because if you're interacting with other videos, then that shows that you're an engaged person on their platform. And this goes for TikTok as well as Instagram and YouTube. I don't know about YouTube as much, but definitely Instagram and TikTok. If you engage after you post, or even engage at all, they will push your videos more, and you will just get more eyeballs. But I will say on TikTok, the search bar is much, much better for finding your niche and making sure that your For You page is specifically designed for your TikTok. And be careful when you're scrolling at all, because if you're liking stuff and saving stuff that isn't in your niche, you will completely screw up your algorithm and you will have to go back to square one. So don't do that. Now we're at the video formats, and I'm gonna talk about 4 types of formats that you should post 3 or 4 times a day. Not every single format 3 or 4 times a day, but you should be posting 3 or 4 times a day. The video formats are trends, general, niche specific, and value. I want you to think of this exactly like a business funnel. It is no different from a business funnel. It is actually a funnel, even though a lot of people don't think of it as a funnel. So for the first one, trends. Post trendy content. You can post whatever you want, whatever's trendy, whatever is getting the most likes, the most shares, whatever. And you're just doing this to get more eyeballs on your social media and to get more eyeballs on you as a whole, and to get people seeing you for your personality, not for the trends. For general, you want to narrow down a little bit more, go a little bit deeper into your subgenre of sort of niche that you have, and just do trendy stuff within that subgenre of TikTok. And then you're going into more niche down content, so just doing more niche down things having to do with your content. And then of course value, providing value. That's for your ICP, your ideal customer persona. And that's just basically giving the most value that you can. So I'm gonna deep dive into these right now, and I'm just gonna give you super detailed sort of way of going about this that is comprehensible and that you can start today. And this is just gonna be sort of how to make the content like these trends, general, niche, value, stuff like that. So for trends, I want you to do the scrolling for 30 minutes and picking out things that are trendy. You will automatically find things that are trendy because you see more and more of them. So like for my example, like what I just did, you saw that Miami video. There's a lot of videos on Miami. There's a lot of videos with like Miami skyline with like a 1-sentence text saying like, "We made it, bro," or something like that with a specific sound. You want to search for those videos and you want to post the videos. Don't be a bitch here, all right? You just post the videos. You will get hate. I have been doing this for 3 years and I've gotten more hate than I can even begin to remember, because that's just what happens when you put yourself out there. And I guarantee you, the people that will hate first are the people that you know the most and the people that you know best. Could even be your closest friends, because the people who have been most supportive for me are complete strangers. And yes, of course, my closest friends, but I've picked my friends to be able to, I don't know, support me. And those friends that I've made are more aligned with me. So the people who will probably give you the most encouragement are the complete strangers, because no millionaire is going to look at someone who's a beginner trying to become a millionaire and being like, you can never do this, you're stupid. They're going to be like, dude, it's going to be hard, but you got this, all right? You're going to make it big. You're going to become just like me one day. So keep that in mind. So for general content, but niching down a little bit, this is probably the place where you can get the most creative with your type of content and without it being super trendy, because this is the stuff that just is sort of like you're scrolling. It's not really trendy at all. It's more of like you stop and you listen, and it has to do with something else. A way that you can really get a lot of eyeballs on this is called the purple cow effect. Alex Hormozi talked about this a lot. I don't know if he created it or not, but it's basically, I actually think Mr. Beast created it. Whatever, it doesn't matter. It's called the purple cow effect. And it's basically something so amazing, ridiculous, engaging, anything that is show-stopping. Basically, the purple cow means if you're driving along a road and past cow fields, you're eventually going to get numb to all the cows, black and white cows, brown and white cows, whatever, until you see a purple cow. Then you're like, what the hell? What is this abomination of nature? And you stop and you look at this cow in the field and you're like, huh, that is crazy. And that's what we want for our content. You want people to stop and think to themselves, wow, this is crazy. This is super valuable. This is super engaging for some reason. I love their storytelling, whatever, etc. One of my best pieces of content that I ever made and most successful was for a commercial real estate agent. And when you think of commercial real estate, you don't think super viral, you don't think mass following on social media. But one of my best performing videos ever got hundreds, I think it was like almost 1 million views for this client. The video that I did was amazing. She had a listing for multiple commercial places and none of them were really, I don't know, none of them were really getting a ton of engagement. Yeah, you were getting some eyeballs, maybe some people were commenting, being like, wow, this is amazing, whatever. No leads. But she said that she had a strip club listing. And I was like, bingo, that's what we gotta do. So I went and there was no dancers there, but we were in the strip club and there were like lights everywhere, and she was doing the commercial or the social media post right in the strip club advertising that it was her listing. And I edited it all and posted it, and I think it got 500,000 views within the first day and a half. Because it was a strip club, people were looking and scrolling and they suddenly got stopped. And there was this person selling a strip club on Instagram. And this video got her tons and tons of leads for her business. And it didn't get millions of views, but it's not one of those trendy things that gets a million of views. It's one of those things that is sort of a little bit more niche down, but still stops people in their tracks and is like, whoa, what is this? And the algorithm just pushes that to more people to get more eyeballs, to get more prospective clients for your business. Then we get into the niche specific. Now going down the funnel more and more, getting a little bit more specific. Now you're talking about stuff specifically in your niche. So for the example of the commercial real estate agent, she could have talked about the prices that she saw for the way that the market was going, just general market info that could be interesting for other real estate agents, maybe not specifically commercial real estate agents, but she could have posted that. And again, it's not super niche down, and it's just enough to have people start to like you more as a person while also getting value from your content. And then the final part of the funnel is where you get to the absolute value of everything. And that is where you post stuff specifically about your niche that is super valuable. This is the part where people really start loving you as a person. And they go from liking you as a, I don't know, creator, and to loving you as a person that sells something. And They don't have to know that consciously. They can know that subconsciously, that they like you as a person, and that if you were to sell something to them, they would be like, oh yes, I would totally buy from you. And this is the type of content, especially on YouTube for long form, that if you give value enough, people will go to other videos of your channel and start to like and comment on every single video, which will push your videos to more and more people, which will get you more clients and more eyeballs for your business. So for how to do this on short form and long form, for short form, I would do a 3-to-1, the top 3 versus the bottom 1. So I would post trends, more general content, and niche down content more than I would do the value content at about a 3-to-1 ratio. Because social media and the fast-paced social platforms that have short form content have a tendency to skew much more towards the more engaging content rather than the truly valuable content. Just because that's the way that the algorithms work, and people don't like to watch really, really long content on those platforms just because it's not as engaging. So I would say on short form, it's about 3-to-1. And it's just the value of short form content is just to get, like I said before, more eyeballs on your content and just to get the world aware of who you are as a person. Then you want to redirect them to the long form content. Then for long form content, I would do a 50-50 split, and I would actually separate the 4 into 2 groups, the value and the sort of getting more eyeballs, those sort of value and virality groups. And I sort of put heavy quotations on the virality because, again, we don't want to go viral, we want to make money. So for YouTube, like I said before, you want to differentiate them in 2 groups and do about 50-50. Or you could even do like a 3-to-1 if you want on more valuable content if you're just starting out, and do more of those trends and do more of those things that get engagements on bigger YouTube channels more, and then simply just do the valuable content once every 2 videos, once every 3 videos, etc. But long form content really nurtures your audience. So if they found you on short form content, then they will follow you on YouTube because they like you as a person. So that sort of funnel for social media is to get people to your YouTube. Now for optimizing for YouTube, you really want to play the YouTube game, you know? So I would say experiment. That's the best way I can put it, because there's no single formula or single way that helps people grow on YouTube. On Instagram or TikTok, it's the short, engaging posts that stop people from scrolling. But on YouTube, people have more time to make decisions, people have more time to look at you as a person, and people have more time to digest the content that you have. And so when you are a small creator, definitely experiment with, I would say probably the main niches are for types of content would be like raw content, so no cuts, just pure value, getting to know you as a person, that kind of thing. Then I would say sort of info / edited content, so it's more like information, educational content with more editing, just again giving value. And then there's the entertaining ones, which could be anything. Like for educational ones, if you're selling a course or something, it could be like a channel trailer or something like that, just something to get your audience hyped about who you are. And if you're an entertaining channel, then I would definitely lean in on the heavy editing, heavy engagement, make it more like short form videos rather than the long form videos. But if you're in sort of the money making mindset, 100% lean towards the less edited and more value, because that's where people who really want the value and are willing to pay you, that's where they are, and that's what type of content they are consuming. And I'm gonna express this one more time because I want you to get this through your skull, all right? Do not try to go viral, all right? Your goal is not to go viral. Nobody cares. Nobody gives a shit about how many followers you have, because that's not important. What's important is how many meaningful viewers you have. So yes, the more the merrier, but you want to have more meaningful viewers than non-meaningful viewers. And that means inevitably having less people than if you're just putting content out for everyone to see. Your goal is to try to get the most ideal customer personas that you physically can. And yeah, going more viral can, I guess, get you more of your ICPs, but the more that you go viral, the less and less people are willing to buy what you're selling. So there's a fine line between being viral and creating content that your ICPs will love. And I would say above all, just give value and the audience will follow. I think it's as simple as that. And I pretty much put money on the fact that if you just, especially on YouTube, if you just post value, then your content will grow inevitably and your channel will grow. And on short form, it's different just because that's not the way that the platforms work. But I would say definitely short form for entertaining, long form for getting to know you as a person. If I had to dumb it down to that, like, two things, it would be short form for getting eyeballs and entertainment and stuff, and long form for getting to know you as a person and value. That's what I would dumb it down to. If you are trying to sell something on your YouTube or Instagram, number one, you have to make your videos look quality, all right? If you're doing talking heads like this, you need a good camera and you need a good mic. Otherwise, no one's gonna trust you and no one's gonna want to buy from you. And number two, if you don't have proof. If you don't have proof of what you've done in the past, then people are also not gonna listen to you. Well, if you're thinking to yourself, oh, Julian, I don't have proof because I'm just starting out. The best way to get proof is to give stuff away for free. I started with social media marketing by just doing shit for free, all right? I did stuff for free for real estate agents, for catering businesses, for tennis facilities, stuff like that. So I did stuff for free before I did anything paid. And same with digital products. I'm giving out so much for free right now that when I do get something that's paid, then number one, I don't feel guilty about selling something. And number two, I'm giving them enough value to where they can do it by themselves, but if they want more help and they want one-on-one, then they could buy something from me. So you need to, number one, be quality, have quality, and number two, have the proof. And if you genuinely don't have any quality whatsoever, if you don't have a nice camera, if you don't have a nice mic, then do what Mark Builds Brands does. So he is basically sitting in front of his computer. He is showing people something, value, and he has a shitty webcam and he doesn't really have anything fancy. Now, do his audience care that he doesn't have anything fancy? Absolutely not. They just care that they're getting value from him. And that gives him tons and tons of leads. He doesn't have millions of subscribers, but he has 100,000 subscribers, and he is probably making $1 million a year. I would not doubt that. So if you don't have quality, you start with your iPhone if you're just doing talking head, or start with Miro boards if you're just doing value, and you can shoot it on your webcam. No one will care as much. Once you have started to build your follower base by doing the things that I've told you, posting 3-4 times a day on short form platforms, posting 1 to 2 times per week on long form platforms, and doing the 4 types of content, trends, niching down, general, and value, if you do those things, you will start to grow on social media. I guarantee it. And if you want to learn how to scale, that's a whole different thing. And there are things like scaling your brand, scaling your content, scaling what you're selling, anything like that. It's just too much to cover in one video because I want to make it digestible and I want you to be able to do this right now. If you want to watch more content from me, you can go to my channel and I have a ton more valuable information for you, having to do with everything from travel content to social media to influencer stuff to self-improvement, stuff like that. So if you want to go watch my content, you can go to my channel. And of course, liking and subscribing will help me get this value out to more people. So I would highly appreciate it if you did that. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.